When the Atlantic Richfield Oil Company got out of the credit card business, other oil companies went after it. The latest to join the pack is Mobil Oil. They'll now accept not only Atlantic Richfield credit cards, but anyone's. Now, it costs a service station operator money to accept credit card business. They are charged a service fee, so why accept even more credit cards?
And it's just a mini application is what it is. And when they use some of their oil company card, they get, I fill out a card for them, send it in. When they get billed, they get a mobile card.
So accepting other cards gives the station operator as well as Mobil Oil a shot at some new customers, and it may be a convenience for you, but still you can save money by not using any credit card at all. For example, at this Mobil gas station, regular is $1.13 a gallon if you pump it yourself. Now, if you pay cash, you can save another 4 cents a gallon, making regular gas $1.09. And that seems to be changing some habits for some customers. You might switch from using a credit card to carrying a little bit of cash with you.
I definitely will. Yes, sir.
So Mobil Oil, along with Chevron, Exxon, Amoco, and other oil companies, while trying to get new business by accepting other companies' credit cards, they are also trying to discourage the use of the more expensive credit card transactions. And you can save because they're giving you a discount for cash. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner. Mattel toy makers say the Barbie doll is 23 years old this year, but still popular with little girls because they've kept Barbie up with the times, adding accessories such as makeup, new fashions, and even a piano now. But for those on a budget, you can still buy Barbie cheap.
But we still have a Barbie doll in the line that retails for about $5.50. Now, the original Barbie sold for $3 in 1959.
But the word out of Hong Kong is that kids want the more expensive toys. Hong Kong is said to be the toy capital of the world. And chairman of their annual toy fair says dolls for today's sophisticated child have to do everything. Laugh, cry, and speak Spanish. Girls want designer names like a Brooke Shields doll. But not all of today's toys will burn a hole in parents' paychecks at a time when the economy is not so good.
There are products available in every price range and every economic bracket. For instance, this Hot Wheel car sells for about $1.27, and it's a lot of fun. It rolls and does a lot of things. You may consider buying, say, one big toy for all 4 kids and then buying them each an additional learning volume for their age grouping.
But Candace Irving of Mattel has some buying guides for parents trying to satisfy their children's desires and still win the toy buying battle.
Be prepared when you go out into the marketplace. Sit down on Saturday morning and watch those commercials that you're going to be seeing. See what's out on the marketplace. See what your child is interested in. It's no sense going out and buying something that your child has absolutely no interest in.
At today's prices, it pays to buy a balanced toy box for children, some educational, some challenging, some just fun. Otherwise, the money you spend may be wasted when the toys start collecting dust on the shelf. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner. Deborah and Mike Doyle just bought a new car. They financed it over a 4-year period, but at some point they hope to pay off the car loan early to save money on the finance charges. However, they noticed the finance charges were not stretched out evenly over the 4-year period. That's when they learned about the rule of 78s. John McClure, Education Director of Oklahoma's Department of Consumer Credit, explains what the rule of 78s is.
Is it a case of moving a lot of the interest up towards the front of the loan rather than tapering it or stretching it out over the length of the loan?
That's exactly what a Rule 78 refund does. The majority of your interest is held out or used up the early portion of your contract. And again, to kind of explain that, the earlier into your contract, the larger your balance is. So consequently, the larger amount of interest is going to be held out. The latter part of your contract, your balance naturally is going to be much smaller, so a smaller portion of it is held out. So it's not a proportional thing. It's held out according to the number of months that your contract was written for And basically, that's the only determination.
So the Doyle's car payment is made up of two parts: the payment for the actual price of the car and the payment for the loan company finance charge. But the finance charge part is higher on the early payments, so if the Doyles pay off the loan in 2 years instead of 4, the loan company still gets a lot of their finance charges, but the Doyles may still owe more than half the actual price of the car. It's called the Rule of 78s. Ask about it before you sign up for a loan that you may pay off early. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner. Americans have an increasing concern for their health, and the pharmaceutical companies know it. So they've made kits available for us to monitor health problems. Americans have an increasing concern for their health, and the pharmaceutical companies know it. So they've made kits available for us to monitor health problems at home in recent years. Many people, from joggers to those with hypertension, want to know about blood pressure. Often a doctor will recommend a home blood pressure test kit.
That are diagnosed as having high blood pressure, their physician will recommend to them that they get a home use blood pressure kit so they can monitor their high blood pressure and see that the medication is working properly or their diet is working properly.
Blood pressure kits are among the most popular, ranging in price from $20 up to about $400. But there are home medical kits more specialized. For example, diabetics who need to monitor blood sugar levels can do so with a urinalysis test at home. And now there's even a painless blood sampling kit, which allows a diabetic to test his own blood at home. However, Wilson says these are used normally in conjunction with doctor's orders.
They need to realize, and they're very strictly instructed, that if their blood glucose level goes too high or too low, they are to report right back to the physician.
Of course, the home pregnancy tests are growing in use these days, but Wilson says they have a caution with them. If they show positive, chances are you are pregnant, but if they show negative, there's still a chance of pregnancy, so see your doctor. Other home kits coming out include a men's venereal disease test, urinary tract infections test, breast cancer, colon cancer test, but some are not widely accepted. So before you start testing at home, ask your doctor or pharmacist's opinion to be on the safe side. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner. Oklahoma City's post offices are officially in the Christmas mode this week, preparing for those of us who will be mailing out packages. But you need to prepare for them, the post office. You need to be ready to stand in line. Now, it's not too bad at the main post office downtown, but look out when you get to some of the smaller branch offices. You may find only one clerk at the counter, or you may find the clerk selling new stamp issues to a stamp collector while you're waiting to mail a package and get back to work. I asked Jim Short, manager of post office retail sales, about their provisions for Christmas.
We're going to have our stations open the 2 Saturdays before Christmas in the morning from 8:30 until noon. And then our main office will be open those 2 Saturdays from 8:30 until 6 o'clock.
In addition to being open extra hours, he says extra personnel will be on duty during the rush hours to hopefully speed up the mailing. That way, he hopes mail clerks will not all be tied up showing collector stamps to a customer while others wait to mail a package. Jim also says their computerized system demands no string on packages. Use tape and only put the address on the stamp side of the package, but put an address inside too and use the correct zip code, he says. One of the major alternatives is United Parcel Service. UPS is located on South Portland off of Interstate 40. Now, UPS provides ground delivery as well as air service. Their second-day air service, they say, is 70% cheaper than U.S. mail. But if you're going through the mail, pack your gifts solidly, address them correctly, and do it now. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner.
Now is the time to start figuring your 1982 taxes, but you're going to find that some recent changes in the tax laws makes it tougher on deductions in 1982. However, there's some things you can do before the end of 1982 to cut your tax bill next April. A 10% across-the-board tax cut effective in 1983 means you'll pay fewer taxes if you push some of this year's income tax into next year. Get your employer to postpone that bonus until after New Year's. Bill for your services after January 1st, even if you do the work this year. Try to maximize your 82 deductions. Get that medical or dental checkup now, especially since starting January 1st, you'll be able to deduct fewer medical expenses than in 1982. And you can charge the expenses and deduct them this year, but make the payments next year. You can also boost your 82 deductions by prepaying some of your 1983 property taxes along with this year's. Do the same with estate income taxes if you owe any. Both taxes can be deducted from your federal taxable income. Make charitable contributions planned for 1982 and 83 now. Also, be aware the IRS is taking closer looks these days at home offices. If any of the office is for personal use, it may not qualify for a deduction. Finally, you still have time to open an individual retirement account or, for the self-employed, a KEO plan before the year ends. So it's up to you to do what you can in the next couple of weeks to keep as much of your earnings as possible. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner.
These men are preparing a Christmas tree for a customer's home, a live Christmas tree. This one will stay with you long after the holiday is over and probably will see more Christmases than its owner.
More so people every year do want to have a living Christmas tree. They might want to save the money. They buy the tree and then after Christmas they can plant it in their yard.
Will it hurt to decorate this tree and let it sit inside for a little while?
No, it will not hurt the tree at all.
Electric lights and the whole work?
No. They can plant this tree after Christmas and it'll do fine.
What's it going to cost them to do this approximately?
We're talking about $85 to $110.
Bill McFall, who's been in the business for 30 years now, says there's a Christmas tree for almost every taste and every budget these days.
We're talking about trees from $20 to $350. I mean, we do have trees that are 25 foot tall.
Some people like a flock tree, real or artificial. They can do it in just about any color, and it costs 1/3 more than the price of the tree. Artificial trees are less trouble for many people, less cleanup involved, and they're reusable, of course, but they can cost from $45 to $85, less than that at a discount store. But the cut trees are still the most popular. You can find them on quarter lots for as low as $10. I asked Bill McFall about his bargain prices. Can I get a bargain if I wait till Christmas Eve?
You can get a good bargain. Those trees don't cost much after Christmas.
Perhaps a good time to buy for next year. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner. Just before Thanksgiving, In Your Corner heard from Josie Moore. She was concerned about having a dinner at home for her children. Her concern was real since she had no range to cook on, no hot water, and no food. Her husband had left them. She couldn't drive and was making a few dollars selling items from her house. She told us she had to heat water in an electric wok to bathe the children. Josie's story aroused quite a response. In a couple of days, she had a new range and a new hot water heater, donated by Lonnie Friel of the Sunline Corporation in Elk City. A Thanksgiving dinner came from Wyatt's Cafeteria. Josie now is getting food stamps and awaiting other financial assistance. Well, early in December, I was called about Janie Bordeo. She was divorced, raising 5 children, and pregnant with a 6th. Her gas bills had accumulated till the gas was shut off. Someone turned it on illegally, and the meter was pulled out. Janie cooked on a hot plate. Viewers changed all that. Donations came in to pay off her $500 gas bill. The gas was turned back on that day. Food came in from the farmer's market. Viewers delivered toys and gifts, and Janie delivered a new baby boy that she took home to a warm apartment.
Well, the Ray Hunt family in Ninica outside Chickasha had no phone, but I heard about them anyway. They were living in a camper, had health problems, and 2 young daughters, one with epilepsy. Ray was unable to work because of emphysema, but viewers contributed money anonymously to help the Hunts. I passed along over $200 to the family so they could celebrate Christmas and pay off some medical bills. We also advised them of agency assistance to help pay those high medical bills.
Davis, why don't you look in there?
Thank you. I hope they know we appreciate it. I would like for them to understand that we appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Here's your check.
$100.
There's our Christmas.
A neighbor called in your corner to help the Richardson family. Howard Richardson, who was 72, had been unable to work for some time because of heart, lung, and stomach problems. Mrs. Richardson was also under medical care, but they had 4 children to support, and government aid did not allow enough for Christmas spending. Dan King of Cimarron Programming helped again this year, buying a $500 shopping spree for the Richardsons at AMC. $20 came in from the Surrey Hill School. Donations are still coming in, which will amount to about $350 more, so there will be a Christmas at the Richardsons this year. And in your corner was called by Pat Thompson, who needed some help for Christmas. Pat was laid off in May and was living off unemployment checks while looking for work. She was also trying to raise 5 children, hers and her sister's, but mounting bills resulted in her water being shut off, and she had no way to buy food, clothing, or gifts for the children. But Tom Fenimore of Colonel Corn came through again this year and gave Pat $200 to spend for needed items. Plus, today, a viewer wanting to remain anonymous gave generously to help Pat Thompson a mountain of food and clothing.